While Washington fixates on Greenland, America's true Arctic front line sits exposed, not overseas, not in disputed territory, but within its own borders. The ice is retreating. New shipping lanes are opening. Russia and China are advancing with purpose. And the United States may be concentrating on the wrong piece of land. Tonight, we break down why Alaska, not Greenland, could decide the future balance of power in the Arctic. Greenland has become the focal point of modern Arctic security debates. In policy circles, think tanks, and diplomatic meetings, its name surfaces again and again. It is seen as the key to America's northern strategy. I'm Livia, and this is Global Shift Analysis. The appeal is obvious. Greenland's geographic position gives it extraordinary strategic value, located closest to the North Pole. It sits directly along the trajectory of Russian intercontinental ballistic missiles traveling toward North America. During the Cold War, this made Greenland a vital early warning outpost, forming part of the first line of detection against a potential Soviet strike. Decades later, that function has not disappeared. The island still plays a crucial role in missile monitoring and early warning architecture. Beyond military positioning, Greenland holds something else the world needs: vast deposits of rare earth minerals foundational to advanced electronics. These are key to renewable energy, precision-guided weapons, and next-gen tech. In an era of competition, this carries enormous strategic weight. Recent diplomatic developments have only intensified attention. Following the meeting in Davos, signs of easing transatlantic tensions emerged, signaling a willingness to stabilize relations with allies. In that environment, discussions about Arctic cooperation, including Greenland, gained renewed momentum. There is no denying it. Greenland is a long-term security priority. But here is the strategic problem. The relentless focus on Greenland risks overshadowing a far more immediate vulnerability, one that does not require negotiations, alliance coordination, or delicate diplomacy. Alaska. Unlike Greenland, Alaska is sovereign United States territory. There are no talks to conduct with Denmark, no NATO sensitivities to navigate, no alliance backlash to manage, no geopolitical friction to absorb. If Washington chose to act, it could move decisively tomorrow, and yet it has not. Investment in Arctic infrastructure and defense posture remains limited. Senator Lisa Murkowski recently warned that the United States is woefully underinvested in the region, particularly in the Bering Sea. That statement is not political theater. It reflects a structural weakness at a moment when the Arctic itself is transforming at historic speed. While policymakers debate diplomatic pathways involving Greenland, the operational environment across the Arctic is shifting faster than strategy is adapting. The real question is not whether Greenland matters, it is how much we are overlooking Alaska. The real question is whether America is overlooking the territory it already controls, the territory that may prove even more critical in the decades ahead. That territory is Alaska. The Arctic is no longer a distant, frozen buffer. It is no longer a static shield of ice separating great powers. It is transforming into something far more dynamic, a maritime highway at the top of the world. Over the past several decades, its summer ice surface area has shrunk to roughly 50% of what it measured in 1980. That is not a minor environmental fluctuation. It is a structural shift with global economic and military consequences. As sea ice retreats, routes once considered speculative are becoming commercially viable. What was once the domain of research vessels is increasingly accessible to cargo fleets and energy tankers. The Arctic is beginning to function like a circular ocean beltway. Just as ring roads allow vehicles to bypass congested city centers, polar sea routes offer ships a shorter path between major markets. Instead of navigating through crowded choke points such as the Suez Canal, vessels can shave significant time and cost by crossing above the Eurasian landmass. Weeks can be cut from transit schedules, fuel expenses drop, supply chains accelerate. Looking ahead, the implications grow even larger. As the Northwest Passage becomes more reliably ice-free, we may witness the most significant transformation in global shipping since the opening of the Suez Canal. Entire trade patterns could recalibrate. And this is not a distant forecast. It is already underway. The Northern Sea Route is heavily trafficked. In 2025 alone, approximately 50 ships completed more than 100 full transits. That is sustained, operational usage. Meanwhile, traffic through the Bering Strait exceeded 600 crossings. Every one of those vessels passed through a narrow maritime gateway separating Alaska from Russian Siberia. These movements are not symbolic. They include cargo ships transporting global supply chains and liquefied natural gas tankers, fueling the expanding LNG trade between Russia and China. Energy and commerce are increasingly flowing across the Arctic. The Arctic is emerging as a commercial artery linking Europe and Asia, a strategic corridor that redistributes leverage. And wherever trade flows, strategic competition inevitably follows. Shipping lanes are not just economic pathways, they are security corridors. This transformation places the Arctic squarely at the center of 21st century geopolitical competition. It is no longer peripheral. It is becoming a core arena. The question is not whether the Arctic will matter. It already matters. There are only two primary maritime gateways into the Arctic Ocean. Every ship that seeks access from the world's major oceans must pass through one of them. That reality alone gives these corridors extraordinary strategic importance. The first is the GIUK Gap in the North Atlantic. Central to NATO's strategy for decades, it remains heavily monitored by Allied fleets, patrol aircraft, and layered surveillance. It benefits from deep alliance integration and established infrastructure. The second gateway is the Bering Strait, connecting the Pacific to the Arctic. Unlike the GIUK Gap, this corridor sits directly between two nuclear powers, separated by only a short distance of water. The proximity is geographic fact. As Arctic shipping grows, every vessel traveling between the Pacific and the Arctic must transit this strait. It is a choke point in the purest sense of the word. And yet, American infrastructure in this region remains limited. Compared to the North Atlantic, the Bering Sea does not benefit from the same level of layered defense or port development. The imbalance is striking. One gateway is reinforced by decades of investment. The other remains comparatively underdeveloped. As commercial traffic increases and strategic competition intensifies, the Bering Strait's importance will only grow. Control over access and the ability to project presence carry immense strategic weight. This is where Alaska becomes indispensable. Russia and China understand exactly what the Arctic is becoming. They are not debating its importance, they are acting on it. Coordinated strategic interest is no longer abstract, it is operational. In recent years, the two powers have conducted joint naval exercises near Alaskan waters. These maneuvers reflect a shared recognition that Arctic sea lanes, energy routes, and choke points will shape future leverage. For Moscow, the Northern Sea Route is more than a shipping shortcut. It is an economic lifeline and a strategic asset, strengthening energy export capacity and reinforcing sovereign control over a rapidly evolving maritime corridor. For Beijing, the Arctic is an extension of long-term global positioning. China describes itself as a near-Arctic state, investing heavily in research, infrastructure, and partnerships aligned with shipping and resource extraction. The numbers tell the story. In 2025 alone, traffic through the Bering Strait exceeded 600 crossings. Along the Northern Sea Route, more than 100 full transits were completed. Energy and commerce are flowing across polar waters. And yet, the American footprint in the Bering Sea remains comparatively limited. This is the imbalance, a structural mismatch between rising operational activity and available American capability. Proximity without preparedness becomes vulnerability. The solution is practical. Expand and modernize the American Arctic surface fleet. A new generation of icebreakers and security cutters designed for sustained polar operations. Ice-capable vessels are operational necessities. A strengthened fleet would allow the U.S. to patrol and escort commercial vessels, ensuring safe passage while signaling consistent presence in waters frequented by adversaries. Presence matters. Regular patrols establish norms, but ships alone are not enough. Sea power requires infrastructure. Vessels need ports for refueling, maintenance, and rapid deployment. Without fixed support points, even the most capable fleet operates at a disadvantage. Next, we look at why a deep-water port in the Bering Sea is the missing piece of the puzzle. That is why infrastructure development along western Alaska is essential. Dredging and constructing deep-water ports, beginning with the Port of Nome, would create permanent logistical hubs for naval vessels and commercial shipping. Deep-water ports transform geography into strategy. They allow sustained operations, reduce response times, and enhance search and rescue capacity. Infrastructure equals permanence. Ports anchor strategy. A fortified Alaska gives the United States the ability to act decisively and independently. Strengthening Alaska requires no external approval, no negotiations with Denmark, no NATO consensus. It is a sovereign decision. Greenland is vital for monitoring Russian missiles approaching from the Arctic, but it is poorly positioned for launches from Asia. That is where Alaska comes into play, placed directly in the path of Pacific-based threats. As North Korea advances its capabilities and China expands its posture, Alaska is a front line for monitoring and intercepting threats from the Pacific. It provides a crucial layer of strategic depth that Greenland cannot replicate. Greenland remains strategically important, but Alaska is essential for comprehensive homeland defense against multiple threat vectors. In an era of competing powers, fortifying Alaskan defenses is a necessity for protecting the homeland. Greenland contains vast rare earth minerals, but they come with enormous challenges. Buried under thick ice sheets, far from roads, and extremely expensive to extract. The timeline to deliver usable minerals would be staggering. Greenland is a priority, but Alaska is the imperative. It is the territory we control, the path we must develop, and the front line that will decide the future balance of power in the Arctic. I'm Livia, and this has been Global Shift Analysis. Alaska also holds rare earth deposits, including at Bocan Mountain on Prince of Wales Island. While smaller than Greenland's, these deposits are far more accessible. Existing infrastructure allows for a faster, more efficient, and environmentally balanced path to development. The opportunity in Alaska is immediate, actionable, and strategically valuable. Greenland will remain important, but the United States does not need to wait for consensus or prolonged deliberation to act on its own soil. By fortifying Alaska, expanding naval presence, modernizing missile defense, and constructing deep-water ports, America can immediately enhance its Arctic posture. It is about prioritizing actionable steps on territory already under U.S. sovereignty. As the ice retreats, hesitation carries risk. Alaska represents America's most secure and accessible foothold. The question is whether Washington recognizes its strategic value and acts before others define the new Arctic order. This is Global Shift Analysis. We follow leverage, track infrastructure, and map strategic shifts before they reshape the world. We look beyond narratives to see who truly holds influence. In geopolitics, positioning is everything, and often the most important territory is the one you already control. I'm Livia, and I'll see you in the next analysis.